Chase has sent me not one, not two, but 3 of these Ink Unlimited mailers. The first time I got one of them, I kind of thought, well, that's cute, but I am not going to get approved for a Chase business credit card at 7/24. Well, little did I know, this wasn't exactly true. My name is Josh, and if you're new here, I like talking about credit cards and travel on the internet for fun. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing, and let's get going. I'll show you my application process from start to finish in just a moment, but first, let's talk about that exciting welcome offer that's available. The offer I received in the mail is actually not quite as good as the offer on Chase's website that is available to everybody. Now, these two actually have the exact same amount of points, 75,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, but the requirements to earn those points is slightly different between the two offers. Now, these two actually have the exact same amount of points, 75,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, but if we go on Chase's website here, you'll notice that the current public welcome offer at time of recording is a 2-tiered bonus. To reach the first tier, you need to spend $3,000 in the first 3 months of having the card, and then Chase will give you 35,000 Ultimate Rewards points. To complete the 75,000 points, you need to spend an additional $3,000 in the next 3 months. So effectively, you have 6 months to spend $6,000 for 75,000 Ultimate Rewards points. Not too bad. Just make sure to front load at least half of that spend to the first 3 months so that you can get the bonus. On the other hand, the mailer offer that I ended up applying with was the same amount of points as I mentioned, but you could only get this if you spend $6,000 in the first 3 months. So I have 3 months less to reach 6K than folks who used the online offer. Thankfully, I have some big costs coming up associated with moving, some studio upgrades, and some flights I need to book to do some vlogs. Even still, it's going to be a little bit challenging to meet that spend requirement. The only reason I actually went for the mailer offer over the public offer on Chase's website is my 524 status. I'm currently sitting at 7 personal cards opened in the last 24 months, which is of course not ideal for getting Chase credit cards. Okay, so let's dive right into the application process. It was fairly straightforward. For the personal side, I just put in all of my personal information as well as my personal income, and then I moved on down to the business side. I use my channel here on YouTube as a very small business, so I chose sole proprietorship. This time, I ended up using a employment identification number, and then for revenue, I put what I always do typically, which is about $1,200. That's like projected income that I think that I can reasonably make from the channel over the next year. After I finished filling out all the business information, I clicked submit. And unfortunately, I was not approved after my initial application. With a bit of a damaged ego, I waited for Chase to deliver the denial letter to my statements and documents on Chase Online Banking. After I got it, here are the 3 reasons why Chase denied me for the Ink Unlimited at first. Very unsurprisingly, the first reason was number of recently opened accounts on credit report. Being at 724, I knew that that was going to be on there. The next 2 were slightly less expected, but still made sense. The first one being business organizational structure, and then the second one being lack of a deposit relationship with Chase. So I don't have a Chase business checking account at this time, and I am also a sole proprietor, so I can see why those might have appeared as well. But even still, for some reason, I thought that I had a shot at reconsideration. So the next day, I called the Chase business card services number, and I politely asked if we could take a look at this application once more. The rep I spoke to was very kind and considerate of this request, and she put me on hold to start reviewing through some things, and then took me off hold and had a couple of questions. The first one was, why are you seeking more credit with Chase? You seem to already have quite a bit. And she was referencing my 3 personal Chase credit cards that have a total combined credit limit of about $40,000. I could see how that might have been a red flag in their system. So I very politely explained that I am looking for a new business credit card to separate out some business expenses that I have coming up from my personal expenses. This is not a bunch of crap either, because I do have some moving costs as well as some studio upgrades that I want to do. And then, of course, we have to book some more flights that we're going to take this year and hopefully do some vlogging videos. Afterwards, she had just one more question. She wanted to know a little bit more about my business. So I explained to her that I make videos on social media platforms, and that seemed to be enough for her. She put me back on hold for, I think, like 5 more minutes, and then after the tensest 5 minutes of my life, she came back and congratulated me on my new Chase Ink Unlimited. I was approved at $724 with a $3,000 credit limit, and while that is a small starting limit, I am not complaining whatsoever. Now that I'm working on the sign-up bonus for the Ink Unlimited, it's time to think about just how I want to use these points. My current plan is to use them along with Capital One miles to book business class flights using Air France KLM's Flying Blue program. Currently have about 84,000 Capital One miles in the arsenal, and after I finish this sign-up bonus, I will actually have another 84,000 Ultimate Rewards points. That's the 75,000 bonus plus the $6,000 in minimum spend at the 1.5x multiplier. I've been seeing business class flights from Washington Dulles to Rome for about 50,000 points per person each way in business class. However, these flights all are operated by Air France, I think, and they will obviously stop in Paris, Charles de Gaulle. And the layovers there are pretty long. I think the lowest I saw was like 7 hours, so not ideal. So I'm curious if I should use 75,000 points each way instead to book ITA Airways flights through Flying Blue. They have non-stops from Washington Dulles to Rome. I'm still a bit of a novice when it comes to booking things with points and all of that, so I'm going to have to do a little more research. Now, there's also a chance that I just use these points at a really nice Hyatt somewhere, but if we do that, we're still going to have to figure out our airfare, whether or not it's in business. In any case, I sense that we will be getting at least one more card bonus to sort out the rest of the planning for this trip. We want to go to Rome and the Amalfi Coast in Italy in 2025, so we'll have to do a little bit more preparation. I'll make sure to do a redemption video whenever it comes time to use these points as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll benefit from my experience with getting approved for the Chase Ink Unlimited at $724 after calling reconsideration. I honestly think I just got lucky, so I don't necessarily recommend doing this. But if you do, let me know how it goes, and I'd love to hear from you. If you want to watch a different type of redemption video using my US Bank Altitude Reserve credit card, then I suggest you watch this video next. I've been Josh, and until next time, take care.